Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 7 a.m.
The suspect crawled to law enforcement teams and was placed under arrest at that point in time.
Breaking overnight, new details on an arrest after two Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses are shot where the suspect was found, and the new concerns about other possible targets.
Plus, the state stepping in to help Floridians in Israel, the new offer of assistance as the conflict overseas grows.
And bringing Major League Baseball to Orlando, what the power players that want to make the Dreamers a reality are set to do today for the very first time. Good morning on your Monday. It is 7 a.m. I almost said 5. It's not 5, it's 7. So get up, get ready if you got to go to work. I'm Crystal Moyer.
I'm sure that spooked some of you. I'm Stephen Montiero. Justin's off today, and I'll take a look at the roads in just a minute. But first, Chief is back.
Look who's back.
Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos with
From
our
Italy.
forecast.
Yeah, it's funny. We got back and family asked my youngest, what did you learn in Italy? She says, gelato is healthier than ice cream.
Oh, okay.
I
don't know where she learned that from,
I
but
like her a lot.
it's because we had it like 3 times
Did
a
she
day.
have a favorite flavor?
Oh gosh, what was her flavor? She liked all the fruits.
Oh,
Okay.
All, like
okay.
the strawberries and
See, I'm a pistachio.
makes sense.
that you like. Alessia's
Pistachio all day.
pistachio. She loves her
Okay.
pistachio or coconut.
Well, we're going to need some of that today, whether it's ice cream, gelato, whatever, because of the hot temps, right?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to make sure to eat that ice cream fast because it's certainly gonna be melting quick. It's gonna be a mess. Just do know that. Cape Canaveral, our launch credit union camera, or the little those push-up icicles. Those are always a mess.
Pops.
Oh, the push pop things.
Yes.
Yeah. All a mess. Just all a mess. It's going to be another hot day today as temperatures will be back in those mid-90s. Right now, we're in those mid-70s area-wide. 77 in Sanford, 76 in Melbourne. Right now in Orlando, we're holding at 75 degrees. Looking at our highs this afternoon, again, we're back into those mid-90s. Not record-breaking, but certainly above average. Temperatures right along the coastline, though, back into the upper 80s. That ocean breeze for you guys right along the coast could actually keep those temperatures a touch cooler. But the heat index, no matter whether you're actually in the 80s or actually in the mid-90s, everyone will be feeling those triple digits for several hours this afternoon, between 100 and even up to 105 degrees this afternoon, which is why the heat risk once again remains kind of in that major stage, especially across kind of the urban areas of Seminole County, Orange, Osceola, and parts of Lake County. But rain chances remain on the high side, especially as we head in towards the weekend. I know it's Monday. It's never too early to start thinking about that weekend, but again, decent chance for rain each and every day. We'll have more details on the timing of today's rain coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
Roadways are still looking nice out there this morning. I-4 in Volusia, if you're headed towards Daytona Beach, Ormond Beach, Holly Hills, South Daytona, any of that in Volusia, please stop by here at John Young Parkway and pick us up before you head out to the beach this morning. Things look nice out there. No crashes. Things are smooth. Let's keep it that way. Remember, crashes are reactions to things that happen to us out on the roadway. They do not need to happen. Orange City looked good this morning to land. Even Deltona, nice and clear over Lake Monroe into the Sanford area. I'm not even picking up the delay just yet out there, so take it nice and easy.
Breaking overnight, the manhunt is over in Minnesota. Police arresting the suspect accused of killing a lawmaker and her husband and injuring another lawmaker and his wife. New this morning, we're learning the suspected gunman had a list of other possible targets.
That's right. News 6's Angie Casada is following the developments overnight. And Angie, authorities there are breathing a little sigh of relief.
Yeah, this all unfolded just hours ago, ending a 43-hour manhunt that spanned across multiple counties. And this morning, we're learning new information from authorities about what led up to the arrest and the motive behind the deadly ambush on two political families.
Breaking overnight, an arrest in one of Minnesota's most shocking crimes recently. Law enforcement tracked down 57-year-old Vance Bolter in a remote stretch of Sibley County, ending what's now being called the largest manhunt in state history. Bolter is accused of killing former House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark inside their Brooklyn Park home, and shooting Senator John Hoffman and his wife at their home just miles away. State leaders say this attack on the two Democrats was politically motivated. Overnight, Governor Tim Walz described the moment as deeply personal and devastating.
One man's unthinkable actions have altered the state of Minnesota.
Bolter was taken into custody without incident.
The suspect crawled to law enforcement teams and was placed under arrest at that point in time.
As a memorial grows outside the state capitol, the Hoffmans are recovering. Senator Hoffman is out of surgery. The focus now turning to motive. Investigators say police earlier found a manifesto and a list of 70 potential targets in Bolter's vehicle.
Now, Bolter is expected to face multiple charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder. We're told he was interviewed by investigators overnight, but so far no details of that meeting have been released. Angie Casada, News 6.
And Angie, the deadly violence in Minnesota has some local lawmakers worried. One of them telling us the Department of Justice is even investigating a recent death threat.
I most recently received a direct threat through a social media app threatening to shoot me and my staff.
Orlando Democratic State Representative Anna Eskamani says oftentimes she and other elected officials have to pay for security out of pocket. And our political experts say in this age of social media, making those kind of threats is easier than ever before.
Social media is largely anonymous, and so people start saying things that they would never say, threatening to kill someone. They would never stand up in public and say, hey, I'm going to kill you.
Eskamani says since the Minnesota violence, some county officials have reached out to her and others about customizing their security support.
This morning, we're waiting for more answers from Orange County deputies after the death of a man in a neighborhood near Apopka. The victim was found early yesterday near the intersection of East Ella J. Gilmore Street and Clarkona Road. Deputies say the man, who was believed to be between 18 and 20, had, quote, obvious signs of trauma and died after being taken to the hospital. The sheriff's office, though, isn't saying anything else about what happened to him or possible suspects. In Osceola County, we're waiting for the sheriff's office to tell us the name of the man shot and killed by deputies over the weekend. It happened Saturday near Chirpine Lane. That's off 192 east of St. Cloud. Deputies were responding to a call from a family member of an 18-year-old who they say was having a mental health crisis. That's when they say he suddenly emerged from the woods naked and armed with a gun. He was then shot after charging at deputies. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating, which is standard procedure.
And we checked, and the man accused of hitting and killing a woman who was out jogging near Kissimmee remains in jail. A judge set bond to $6,000 for Hilario Pena España. During his first court appearance on Friday, investigators say the 21-year-old hit Nahal Azimi with his truck Wednesday morning in a neighborhood on Florida Parkway. Pena told investigators his windows were foggy and he didn't see the victim in the crosswalk. He is charged with leaving the scene of a crash involving death and for driving without a license. Also happening right now, pictures showing the aftermath in Tel Aviv after Iran hit the city. The conflict between Israel and Iran has entered its 4th day, and tensions are high. Iran hit several locations in Israel, including residential buildings and an oil refinery. This all comes after Israel struck several nuclear sites in Iran last week. And as Israel and Iran have continued conflict, the state of Florida is trying to help. The Florida Division of Emergency Management posted this message stating they are assisting Americans seeking evacuations from the hostile situation in Israel. If one of your loved ones is trying to get back home, you can contact floridadisaster.org. And that conflict, meantime, is expected to start having major impacts this week when it comes to the price of gas. Now, we're putting that story together for the bottom of the hour. And happening today, the big names hoping to bring a Major League Baseball team right here to Central Florida are set to make their first public appearance today.
Yeah, they're trying to make the Orlando Dreamers a reality and say they have the money to do it. News 6's Mark Lehman is following the latest live. And Mark, this group has been working to not only get a team, but build a new stadium as well.
Yeah, and at a price tag of more than $1 billion, it's a very ambitious goal. The hope is to build a stadium here at this plot of land off of International Drive and next to SeaWorld's Aquatica. Now, all of this is just a plan at this point, and today we're expecting to hear more about how it can become a reality. It's the next big step in a push to bring Major League Baseball to Orlando. For the first time, the 4 principal investors of the Orlando Dreamers are holding a public discussion on the proposal. It will be led by co-founder Jim Schnorf.
This would be the biggest thing to hit Central Florida since Disney.
The special panel will focus on the Dreamers' effort as well as the proposed $1 billion stadium to be built along International Drive. This is happening a couple weeks after Orange County's mayor said he wants to see more information from investors.
In order for that to become a reality, we will have to negotiate with a team ownership group about not just coming here, but how they will help us to improve our community.
The MLB effort was launched by Orlando Magic co-founder Pat Williams in 2019.
Until you get a Major League Baseball team, you're not really a big league market.
While Williams passed away last year, his dream carried on with an announced $1.5 billion in equity investments for the Dreamers, all of which will be part of today's discussion. The other investors taking part in today's panel are Dreamers owner Dr. Rick Workman, co-owner attorney John Morgan, and MLB ambassador Barry Larkin. Our News 6 sports team will be covering the discussion as it happens. We'll have full coverage for you on News 6 at noon. For now, reporting live in Orlando, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Mark, thanks. And it looks like it's shaping to be a pretty good morning, Candace, as far as the weather goes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little warm, but if you want to go to the beach, maybe earlier, sooner than later.
Or drop the kids off of summer camp and then go to the beach.
Yes.
Now you're talking.
I don't know. I have to work, so I can't do that. All right, Daytona Beach right now. Taking a live look outside. It is a beautiful day. If you like it warm and tropical, which at the end of the day, that's the next couple months here in Central Florida, right? We're at 77 degrees in Sanford. Right now, though, in Daytona Beach, we're also holding at 77 degrees. If you're planning on enjoying the beaches for today, your temperatures this afternoon, after starting off in those mid-70s, will be warming up to near about 90. We do have a bit of an ocean breeze today, and that is going to keep that moderate to high risk of rip currents out there, but at least it will keep that breeze in place. A little further inland right now, we're all pretty much in those mid-70s. Right now, we're at 75 in Leesburg, Sanford at 77, Bithlo right now coming in at 75 degrees. But our average for this time of the year is about 91. We're going to be hovering just above that mark here throughout the next 7 days. Now we know, and we've been feeling it, that although the temperatures read mid-90s, the feels like temperatures, once again, will be back into those triple digits. The only relief we will get will be those sea breeze showers and thunderstorms. You can see a little higher the further west you go for today. That's kind of that collision zone. We'll be talking more about the timing and location for the rain today coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
Thank you, ma'am. 46 looking good this morning. Orange Boulevard, Markham Woods, Markham Road, even International Parkway out in the West Sanford, nice and clear. 441 through Apopka, Orange Blossom Trail, coming in northbound from Maitland. Even at Maitland and OBT, normally at this hour we see an eastbound delay. I'm not seeing it this morning. Even southbound along 429. I don't know if you guys decided to stay on vacation a few extra days and maybe cancel this Monday, but we're looking great. Not a crash to currently give to you. I know I probably jinxed it, but as we come a little further south, check out Central Florida Parkway from I-4 as you make your way towards Orange Blossom Trail, John Young, all clear this morning. Time now, 7:12, coming up, a popular landmark changing for good.
Up next, when the Flagler Beach Pier will be torn down and rebuilt. But first,
looking for a loan? Beware, scammers are impersonating legitimate loan companies and ripping off those already in need. I'm investigator Lewis Bold, and I'll tell you how to avoid being a victim. Coming up.
You're watching News 6 Mornings. We'll be right back. to see.
If you're in the market for a loan or know someone who is, you're going to want to hear this story. Scammers, they are impersonating legitimate loan companies and ripping off those already in need.
That's right. New this morning, News 6 investigator Louis Bolden introduces us to one woman who says it happened to her and how you can avoid being scammed yourself.
I'm very angry and I'm very upset.
69-year-old Sarah Geathers was looking for a loan to purchase a new walker.
So I done cleared out some appointments.
And new shoes to accommodate her feet swollen from lymphedema.
I wanted to have a little extra money on me just to get some things that a lady would like to go shopping for.
Geathers had been applying online for loans when she got a call from someone pretending to be from LendingTree, telling her she was approved.
They said that I was approved from $1,000 to $3,000.
Geathers gave her banking information, and the person deposited this check for almost $1,300 into her account. Then, through social engineering, convinced her to buy 2 $500 gift cards from Walmart to be sent back to them. Soon after, her bank notified her that initial check was fraudulent.
According to the Federal Trade Commission, Americans lost $12.8 billion to fraud last year, and imposter scams were the third highest category.
Everybody is susceptible to a social engineering scam.
Roger Grimes is a cybersecurity expert and says never underestimate the power of social engineering, which is building trust and manipulating people to divulge personal information.
I just think that if you get hit at the right moment in your life, with the right type of scam, that we're all susceptible to something, even though we thought we were not.
If you've been the victim of a loan scam, experts say file a police report, take steps to secure your information, watch your credit report, and consider a credit freeze with all 3 credit bureaus.
It was disappointing.
Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at theinvestigators@WKMG.com. I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
Happening today, state lawmakers are set to finally take a vote on a new budget, ending a stalemate that's lasted for weeks. The budget-related bills and tax package were expected to be completed May 2nd at the scheduled end of the annual legislative session, but the House and Senate could not reach an agreement, leading to an extension of the session. A part of the deal, lawmakers agreed to cut $1.3 billion in taxes. House Budget Chairman Lawrence McClure says the final spending plan is worth the wait.
What this budget represents is a recalibration of spending practices to a place that we believe is sustainable for the long haul in the future success of this state.
If the final vote happens today, Governor DeSantis has about 2 weeks to sign the budget and use his line item veto power before the July 1st deadline.
Well, also happening today, the iconic Flagler Beach Pier's demolition and replacement is set to officially get underway. So this pier, which has been there, guys, since 1928, was severely damaged during Hurricane Ian. But it's taken years to come up with a plan for the project and to secure federal funding to help, well, just make it happen. The project is expected to take 1.5 to 2 years before it's officially completed. And these renderings there, man, this thing's going to get a nice little modern day upgrade out there.
That's
so
what I'm
nice.
looking forward to. The cover.
And Flagler Beach is so pretty. You know what I mean? Sometimes it doesn't get all the recognition sometimes as some of the other beaches.
You're giving my
It's a
beach
hidden
away.
gem.
I go up to Flagler quietly all the time.
Yeah. I know. I track you.
Yes.
But no, honestly, it's just going to be a really nice little stretch there, and
Good.
like you said, shade.
Yes,
right?
needing it today
Shade.
too.
Yes, certainly shade will be needed, AC will be needed, water activities might be a good idea. This is our look ahead for how the weather's going to be impacting you for the next couple of days. I know a lot of this is a big no surprise, although the last headline always puts a smile on my face. No new tropical development is expected within the next 7 days across the Caribbean, the Gulf, and the Atlantic, as we are almost 20 days into hurricane season already. But we are certainly going to be feeling that heat, making sure you're taking those breaks, because although the thermometer technically reads 94, 95 degrees, what it feels like is what really matters to us as humans on this Central Florida Earth, right? We're at 100 to 105 with those feels like temperatures. And then this afternoon, if you have some after afternoon plans, whether it's picking up the kids from summer camps, some after camp activities, whether it's some games or practices or whatnot, rain chances are going to be up there about 40 to 50%. So just do be aware that rain, we'll have to dodge a little bit of it this afternoon. Now temperatures out the door, not too bad. We're in those mid 70s already though, low 80s. One of our popular beaches, New Smyrna right now, holding at 82 degrees right now, about 10 degrees cooler the further inland you go. And then into the afternoon, the coastline will be the cooler spot. Now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today. A little bit of biking this afternoon, making sure that you got the water bottle there hooked on to the bike as well, as we're going to be once again reaching those mid-90s. Now notice your rain chances. They start to creep up by about 1. Our highest chance is about 5 o'clock, as we will start to see where the sea breezes collide. Now, not everyone will be seeing the rain for today. It's very summer-like, so it's going to be very much about location, right? Water vapor imagery showing that there's still plenty of available moisture across east central Florida, but notice that there's still some dry air just to our south. Some of the models still pick up a little bit of that dry air, kind of clipping parts of our southern zone. So Brevard, southern Osceola County, your rain chances might not be as high as your friends further north and west. So you can see rain chances only about 20% in Melbourne. I think most of us will be dry throughout most of Brevard and Osceola. But across our western zones, that's where that sea breeze collision is expected to be once again today. So look here, clouds and rain. Again, can't rule out the chance of a couple of those bubble up scattered showers. They could produce some gusty winds, a couple lightning strikes embedded within it. But it looks like as of right now, those late evening boomers expected across Lake Marion and Sumter County till about 8, 9 o'clock tonight. And as we get results here with your full 7-day forecast, decent shot for rain each and every afternoon. Again, very sea breeze driven, so it won't be the exact same every single day. But one thing you can't beat will be the heat. 95 will be our highs for the next couple of days. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
Things are kind of increasing a little bit. If you're coming in from Champions Gate eastbound along I-4, your drive time 38 minutes this morning to get to downtown Orlando, and that's only because of the 535 slowdowns. Outside of that, we're actually doing really well. 417 in Sanford, westbound through Lake Mary, no delay, only 17 minutes to downtown. Then I-4 here at DOT camp showing Lee Road, I-4 express lanes looking good. Some troopers out there patrolling, so make sure you're paying attention. But outside of that, right there is the only delay. It's going to be eastbound I-4 at 535.
Well, improving dental health in Florida, and it has nothing to do with fluoride.
At the bottom of the hour, how the state's budget bill vote today could impact your next dentist office visit.
Plus, the Orlando Magic gaining a star player, but what will it cost the team? Everything they had to give up for that player.
New this morning, some vitamin B12 gummies are coming off the shelves after a major recall. So they were distributed at Aldi and BJ retail stores nationwide and online. The recall follows routine testing, which found the gummies made by Vita Warehouse Corporation contained the presence of peanut allergen. The gummies were sold under brands Welby, Berkeley Jensen, and Vita Globe. Anyone with allergy concerns that has one of these recalled products and return it for a refund or just throw it away.
All right, for those sports newsies, a major trade has been made between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Orlando Magic. Sharpshooting guard Desmond Bane is leaving the Grizzlies and is now making his way to Orlando. Bane averages around 20 points a game. The Magic sent Cole Anthony and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to Memphis, along with first-round picks in the next 4 years. They are giving their soul for Bane.
This is interesting.
I'm
We'll see
looking
how it
forward
goes,
to the
right?
next season. Yeah, it's
All
going to be
right.
great. Well, a Father's Day he will always remember.
That's right. Still ahead, the journey of one local man having received a second liver transplant and the road to recovery just in time for the big day.
Plus, tensions between Iran and Israel now putting a strain on your gas tank. How much more you can expect to pay at the pump.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
It's a hot and muggy start already across Central Florida's temperatures already starting off nearing about 80 degrees in some spots. Into the afternoon we go, as high as this afternoon, back into those mid-90s, feeling like the triple digits. But we're going to have those scattered storms once again. Our coverage for this afternoon, about 40 to 50%. It's all sea breeze driven. Most of the action will be favoring areas west of 95 towards 75. Some of the later storms could linger across Lake Marion and Sumter County till as late as about sundown, after about 8, 9 o'clock. As we get results here, the full 7-day forecast. Summer, that officially begins on the calendar come Friday. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
In summer, it's here, guys. Man, 20 minutes right now, 417 to downtown westbound. Crystal's sitting next to me, don't worry about it. She's the only one that sings out here. East and westbound, we're running smooth. Drive times where they should be. No crash to give you. 528 also looking good if you're headed out towards the coast. Because of that heat, make sure you're packing the water with you. Roadways are looking good. Slight delay by 535, but no crash. The news continues next. Remember, get updates over at clickorlando.com.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
The time is now 7:30 on your Monday.
Let's take a check of your top stories. Authorities in Minnesota have arrested the man they say shot 2 state lawmakers and their spouses. One of the couples did not survive. Police say the investigation into the suspect's motive is ongoing.
We're waiting for Orange County deputies to tell us what happened to a man who died after being found in a neighborhood near Apopka. They say the victim had obvious signs of trauma after the discovery early yesterday on East Ella J. Gilmore Street.
And the group that wants to bring Major League Baseball team to Orlando is set to make its first joint public appearance today. They say they've already raised over $1 billion to make the Orlando Dreamers a reality.
You know what I'm dreaming about?
What?
I'm dreaming about a little bit of a breeze.
That's not going to happen.
I'm dreaming about some cooler weather. And my dreams will not become reality. Why? Because we're in Florida. I'm just kidding. Much of the same, though, with, hot temps, summer. Yeah. You guys know the deal.
Well, you might have missed her for the past 2 weeks, and she's back. Chief
I'm back.
Meteorologist Candace Campos. Man, listen.
And the weather hasn't changed a bit.
Right, you keep telling us that the summer starts on Friday officially.
Officially,
but,
yes. I know.
He's sweating and he's inside.
I
know. It's one of these things that you're just going to have to, it's one of those things you got to figure out ways of beating the heat. Once again, it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid. Rain chances, they are back each and every afternoon, about 40 to 50%. It's all kind of sea breeze driven. Now, taking a live look outside, Daytona Beach Sky Cam. This is one way to beat the heat. Just, embracing it along our beaches. Right now, 77 in Daytona. We're also holding at 77 in Sanford, 76 degrees in Melbourne. If you are enjoying the beaches for today, don't forget, around 1:30 or so, fingers crossed, we can get a rocket off the ground. You'll be able to enjoy rocket launch and the beach, all wrapped up in one nice little Central Florida package there. Surf is about 2 to 3 feet. The risk of rip currents, though, still in that moderate to high range. Further inland, it's going to be a little hotter as that sea breeze will take a little bit of time to cool us down. We're going to be in those mid-90s, although we know it will be feeling like those triple digits. We'll have more details, though, on the timing of today's rain and who has the best chance of seeing some of those stronger storms coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
There was one day when you were gone that Lakeland had like a 106, 107 heat index. It was through the roof. It was crazy. I-4 looking good this morning, east and westbound. No crash to still give you drive times where they should be. I'm thoroughly impressed. It's Monday, not sure what's going on. But eastbound 535 right there, nice and clear. I know it's a little bit of a slowdown, but it's nothing that's going to kind of impede your drive times. Or Champions Gate, Osceola Polk Line Road, even Point Siena, Pleasant Hill, looking clear as you're traveling northbound towards Orange County.
Thanks, Steve. Breaking overnight, the man accused of shooting 2 Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses is now in custody. This is the brand new mugshot for Vance Luther Bolter after he was booked in just the last few hours. But this morning, there's still big questions about just why he carried out the violence that left one couple dead and another hurt. News 6's Angie Casada is following the latest. And Angie, law enforcement held a press conference about this overnight.
Yeah, the suspect, Vance Bolter, is now locked up after what several are calling one of the largest coordinated manhunts Minnesota has ever seen. And this morning, we're hearing from Governor Tim Walz, who says this moment must be a wake-up call for the nation.
The manhunt is over. 57-year-old Vance Bolter is now in custody, accused of killing former House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, and critically wounding Senator John Hoffman and his wife. Bolter was arrested just before midnight in a remote area southwest of Minneapolis after a tip led teams to a stretch of woods.
He was arrested, as you saw earlier this evening, in the area of 35600 block of 200th Street, Green Isle.
Governor Walz says more than 20 SWAT teams were involved, calling it a historic and coordinated law enforcement effort.
To the law enforcement who stand here and the hundreds who are involved in this, the state of Minnesota owes you a deep debt of gratitude. Thank you.
Police say Bolter exploited his past ties to politics, posing as an officer to carry out the shootings. Still, his exact motive is unclear. A memorial grows on the steps of the Capitol as state leaders demand change.
This cannot be the norm. It cannot be the way that we deal with our political differences. Now's the time for us to recommit to the core values of this country.
Now, at this hour, Bolter is being held on a state warrant. Investigators say he's cooperating, and they're still looking into whether others were on a targeted list. We'll have updates on air and here on clickorlando.com. In studio, Angie Casada, News 6.
Thank you, Angie. In Seminole County, we're waiting to learn how 3 people are doing after they were taken to the hospital following a house fire in Geneva. So these are photos of that fire that happened on Saturday off of Raccoon Lane. In a GoFundMe to help the victims, one man says another man ran back inside the home, risking his very own life to save a handicapped woman that was trapped inside that home. According to the Seminole County Fire Department, 3 people were taken to the hospital, 2 as trauma alerts were told. Now, there was a 4th person who refused transport. The fire department says the cause of the fire is unknown and is currently under investigation.
Taking a live look at the Lake County Jail this morning, where suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez remains behind bars 11 days after his arrest. Lopez, along with several co-defendants, are accused of being part of an illegal gambling operation that brought in millions of dollars. Lopez faced a judge a week and a half ago and was given a $1 million bond. He was told, though, he had to prove the bond money was not from the illegal operation before he could be let out. We'll be keeping an eye on the jail until Lopez walks out and bring you updates here on News 6 and clickorlando.com.
This morning, Iran and Israel continue their ongoing fight, launching missiles back and forth, and the feud will likely end up costing you more money. As Amy Kiley reports, the price of oil is now skyrocketing and will likely raise the price of gas here in the U.S. this week.
As the conflict between Israel and Iran intensifies, experts say Americans could feel it at the pump. An analyst for GasBuddy predicts prices could rise more than 30 cents a gallon by July 4th. That's due to the skyrocketing cost of oil.
Any kind of conflict going on in the Middle East, or particularly if it escalates, is going to lead to rising oil prices, which will lead to inflationary pressures in the U.S.
Some oil infrastructure appears damaged as the two sides exchange strikes. This video is from Haifa, home to Israel's largest refinery, and Iran is one of the top oil producers in the world.
They went after oil storage and oil refineries in those depots, as well as, of course, the targeting of gas facilities in Iran South.
Experts say the good news is U.S. gas prices were relatively mild before the conflict began. Rystad Energy says the oil market's reaction could be contained and temporary if Iran focuses on military targets. Experts say gas prices would rise much more if it went after the Strait of Hormuz. Goldman Sachs predicts an extended disruption there would push oil prices past $100 a barrel. That's because core OPEC countries need the waterway in order to ramp up production.
There's every single day 21 million barrels of oil that flows through the Strait of Hormuz. It's about 1/5 of what the world consumes.
Amy Kiley, News 6.
New this morning, after a weekend of protests, President Trump is doubling down on his pledge to deport individuals in the United States illegally.
Yeah, in a new statement on social media last night, Trump said the effort to deport those here illegally needs to expand and should target America's largest cities like LA, Chicago, New York. He went on to accuse Democrats of those cities of using illegal immigrants to expand their voter base. This followed a day of protests across Central Florida and the entire country on Saturday by those who are against the president's policies. Thousands attended those rallies. Most remained peaceful. There were 3 arrests at the rally in Ocala, however, including 2 people accused of pushing protesters, along with a woman accused of hitting someone with her cardboard sign.
And we could see a second round of Amazon's Project Kuiper satellites make their way into orbit later today. So this is video from the very first launch. An Atlas V rocket is set to bring 27 more of the satellites into orbit as the company works to compete with SpaceX and build its own worldwide internet network. Right now, there's a 75% chance of good weather for the launch, which is currently set for this afternoon at 1:25. If it happens, we'll bring it to you live on air over in clickorlando.com as well.
Meantime, we now know the next crewed launch from our coast won't happen until at least Thursday. The Axiom 4 mission to the International Space Station was delayed last week because of a problem with the Falcon 9 rocket, along with concerns about a leak on the space station. Astronauts from 4 different countries, including astronaut veteran Peggy Whitson, are part of the all-private crew. And Candace, obviously, earlier in the day, probably the best for some of these launches because that'll avoid some of the rain, right?
Well, and the good news is we do have enough of an onshore breeze today that's going to push most of the rain and storms basically west of 95. So right along the coastline, including the Cape. I think most of us should actually stay relatively dry along the coastline. Cape Canaveral, speaking of the coast, our Launch Credit Union camera there. A beautiful look there at one of the many ships that are coming in and going out throughout the next couple of days. Temperature is currently still in those mid-70s area wide. We're going to quickly climb into those 80s and mid-90s though this afternoon. But as that feels like temperature, at the end of the day, that's what really matters to me because that's what really matters to the human body, right? What does it feel like? And because it's going to be feeling like 100 to 105 degrees, once again, we're looking at a major heat risk for today. And that just means that you got to make sure that, one, you're checking in on your loved ones who might not have kind of the best air conditioning units and whatnot, or the kids who are going to be out in summer camps, making sure that you're preparing everybody for what will be another very hot day. Now, rain chances for today, that's going to help bring a little bit of relief for some areas. Not extremely high, pretty typical for this time of the year, about a 40 to 50%. But at the end of the day, looking back the last 5 days, we desperately need some rain across I-4 towards 95. But notice where all the rain's been falling for the past couple of days is where we will see the collision once again today. We'll have more details on the timing of today's rain coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
Roadways are doing pretty good this morning. We're starting to build that delay eastbound along I-4 out there by Champions Gate, so it's finally kind of ticking in. Just be careful. That's all I'm asking. Increase the following distance. No delays along 1792, Orange Blossom Trail or John Young, Poinciana, Ham Brown, and Pleasant Hill Road also in the clear. Looking at some other roadways like 429, nice and smooth. Now, last week, it was such a nice day on Friday. I was like, let's go drive a town. I picked Windermere. Don't get out there too often. 2 square miles. That's all it is. Got their name from a town in England back in 1925. Some history there for you. Head to clickorlando.com and you can check that out. Today, we're going to go navigate some new entrance and exits. I-4 east and westbound at the Wekiva area. Some of you got some questions. I've got the answers. Join me today at clickorlando.com.
All right.
Time, 7:42. Florida lawmakers set to vote on a state's budget for 2026 today.
And it includes something you may not expect. Coming up, how the budget could make a difference when you go to the dentist.
Plus, the Central Florida father celebrating a second chance he wasn't sure he would get.
Florida ranks among the worst for states when it comes to dental health. 1 in 3 people living here go without any care, but that could soon change. Lawmakers are expected to vote on the state budget today, and included is a move that could help expand access to dental care. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez tells us how expanding the duties of dental hygienists could help.
So we remove any of the toxins that are on your teeth, under your gums in a preventive way.
Dental hygienist Catherine Cabazon does what many call a cleaning at the dentist's office, but it's more about killing bacteria. While necessary to manage gum disease, hygienists can't reach all troublemaking germs in the mouth.
These pathogens go into the bloodstream too. They can go into your respiratory system and your digestive tract, and they have been connected with 57 different diseases and conditions.
But there is a tool that can help them, a dental diode laser. Dental hygienists in 45 other states can use them under supervision of a dentist, but not in Florida.
Why is it important for you to come today to the service?
Can't afford it any other way.
In March, I met people waiting hours for free dental care in Daytona Beach.
I've got a tooth that needs a filling, and the pain or the sensitivity that I feel every day, even taking a sip of this coffee.
If the state approves the laser, Cabazon believes it will reduce the number of patients facing expensive oral health problems or a more drastic diagnosis.
We need to lower the level of these pathogens so there's no inflammation and none of these entering into the rest of the system, playing havoc on it. These pathogens have been found in the brain cells of patients with Alzheimer's.
Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Happening today, leaders in Deltona are set to discuss a moratorium on new construction. Supporters say the move would give the city a chance to find more money to improve emergency services. It could also help the city find a way to address flooding issues that they've seen from recent storms. The city would develop new regulations for construction and update its impact fees to help. The readings and the votes are set for later this month, with today's discussion set for 6 o'clock.
City leaders are also set to vote on banning any new medical marijuana dispensaries in Deltona. The city would keep the one dispensary it already has, but would not allow any more to open after the second applicant who filed before the cutoff. Some are concerned it would harm those who rely on marijuana for medical reasons, while others say 2 shops would be enough for the town. If tonight's vote passes, a second public hearing in July would make it official.
Well, it was a Father's Day to remember for one Central Florida man who just received his second liver transplant. Andrew Wagner waited months after his first liver began to fail because, well, he had previously had lung cancer, and that made it difficult to find a doctor. But when he learned of a doctor doing a liver transplant on a man with active lung cancer, well, he saw his opportunity.
The first thing I said was, how can they do this? How can they transplant this gentleman with active lung cancer and give him a new liver? And so that prompted my first phone call.
The proof, there is a will, there is a way. Now Wagner is just a few days away from his 6-month checkup and got to enjoy Father's Day with his family, including his new grandchild. Congratulations to you, sir. Amazing.
I love that. Good for him, but also good for the research moving forward for other folks who are dealing with that too, who may be able to get that transplant.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. And then we got that grandbaby. Got a lot of running to do. I'm glad he's working out now.
Gotta stay healthy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. If you're out working out, taking care of the kids, drop them off at summer camp, head into work, whatever the case may be, just finding ways of staying cool today. A lot of the AC will be cranking up, as well as having the rain gear handy, just in case. It's summertime. You know that's the combination, right? Light colored clothing, umbrella, water bottle, sunglasses, sunscreen. That should be in your go-to bag every day. Taking a live look. What's going on across the area right now? Satellite and radar composite really not showing much. We have a big ridge of high pressure and control, and that's going to keep things on the hot side once again back into those mid-90s. Right now, it's certainly a warm start, closing in on those low 80s already across our inland zone. 79 from Leesburg through Claremont, 81 currently there in Titusville, 82 in New Smyrna. Now to take you here hour by hour, so you can kind of plan out your day. Rain chances do go up to about a 30% between 1 and 3. Our highest chance for rain, it's only about a 40 to 50% in the Orlando area. A little higher the further west you go, and I'll show you why in just a few seconds as temperatures continue to hover in those mid to low 90s. Now, as of right now, the radar is looking pretty good. Radar sweeps are going around. We're not picking up a lot of rain. There's still some moisture out over the Gulf, moisture out over the Atlantic into the afternoon. There's still plenty of available moisture and instability to produce those scattered showers and thunderstorms. So as you can see here, clouds and rain forecast showing the development of some of that rain in around I-4 by about the lunchtime hour. Later on into the day, about 2, 3 o'clock, becomes a little more widespread. Not a big sheet of rain across the area, but a couple of those bubble up scattered showers and thunderstorms as the sea breezes come together. But where they collide, that collision zone, once again, will be over the kind of the same area it has been for the past several days, where we've been seeing some of that heavy downpours there through Ocala, Lake and Sumter County zone there till as late as about 7, 8 o'clock tonight. Sun goes down, rain chances also kind of taper off. Quick check on the tropics. We're a few days into hurricane season. No new tropical development is expected. Watching a couple of tropical waves out there. As of now, none of those waves are expected to really develop into much. So that's certainly some good news. One of the main reasons, other than climatology, we are also watching plenty of Saharan dust. We've been tapping into a little bit of that over the last couple of days. We have just a little bit of it right now over central Florida, and we're going to continue to keep some of that kind of that hint of dust in the air. So do expect those vibrant sunrise and sunsets for another couple of days. Again, the Saharan dust, don't put your money on all this. This is not going to last all season long. This tends to happen towards the middle and end of June, and then things start kind of wrapping up out along our Atlantic waters, and then things start to develop a little more often. So to take you here throughout the next 7 days, you can see it's certainly a copy and paste kind of weather forecast as rain chances continue to stay in those 40 to 50% range there. Again, summer, although it certainly has been feeling like it, it doesn't officially begin until Friday. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
Roadway still nice at 7:51 in the morning. I-4 Lee Road, you can see all lanes moving real nice there. And this is I-4 Champions Gate. Just a slight delay beginning to build in the eastbound direction. It's late in the morning, technically, for this commute. So to see this starting now, it's not too bad. 29 minutes if you're coming from Sanford, 32 from Osceola Parkway. Slight delay northbound along the turnpike there at 417. Be careful. And then again at 192. The good thing is no crashes. Coming up, wild video out of Hillsborough County of a man's arrest for something that could have turned deadly.
Take a look at this video out of Hillsborough County. Investigators say a man was arrested over the weekend accused of pointing a green laser at a police helicopter several times. Deputies say James Cardamone was behind the laser that impaired visibility and disrupted the flight crew. They say the act could have had deadly consequences. Cardamone was arrested and faces a charge related to misusing a laser device.
Well, Lilo and Stitch is not the movie that is dominating at the box offices anymore. But what movie is that took its place? The highly anticipated live action How to Train Your Dragon is ringing in as #1. The movie soared to an $83.7 million debut, beating out movies like Materialist and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Candace.
All right, temperatures out the door right now. We are in the upper 70s, low 80s. Highs this afternoon back into those mid 90s with rain chances once again up to about a 40 to 50%. Most of those scattered showers will start to develop after about 2-3 o'clock, but notice they're kind of moving from west to east into the afternoon, and where they collide, once again, same zones that have been seeing those late night boomers there by about 7-8 o'clock will be across our far western zone. So Lake Erie and Sumter County, you'll have more of those slow moving downpours, but overall, decent chance for rain this afternoon. And it's going to be kind of a rinse and repeat kind of weather forecast over the next couple of days. I promise. I did change and update these graphics here over the next couple of days. Summer, though, that officially begins, though, on Friday, Steve.
Things still look nice out here. If you're hitting the roads, no issues. Don't be the one to ruin it on a Monday, because people are not going to be happy when they drive past you. 25 minutes east and westbound, basically in both directions, meaning no major delays. We see a slight delay along the turnpike. And listen, thanks for joining us. And remember, we break news over at clickorlando.com.
You can also find all of our top stories on our new 6 Plus app for your TV.
We'll see you later. Have a great day.